Coming to you live from the JRE Tobacco Aladino Mobile Studios, it's the Cigar Pulpit.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another sermon from the Cigar Pulpit. I'm the Bishop of the Burn, Nick, and with me, as always,
it's your man, Gator.
And on the line, we have special guest, Jorge Rodriguez. He is with Geronimo Cigars. How are you?
Good. Thank you guys for having me on today.
Thank you for coming on today.
Jorge, we really appreciate you coming on the show.
We had some debate beforehand
I appreciate it too.
About the pronunciation, so Jeff is going with the Jorge.
Yeah.
Okay.
The traditional.
Okay. Anyway, so today we're going to be smoking a selection from Geronimo Cigars. We're going to be smoking the El Principio. I did say that correct, right?
Yeah, actually, I got to give you a very, very solid A on that one.
Okay, good.
Look at you.
I'll take that. Do
you guys, every time you launch like a new cigar or you ship a shipment out, do you scream Geronimo? Because that would be awesome.
What's funny? We actually don't do that because I'm pretty sure that if in the warehouse every 5 minutes someone screamed Geronimo, I'd be pretty pissed off. But with that being said, I do have friends of ours that every time they're either smoking a cigar or they come over to the house, wherever the case is, one of the first things they do is look at the cigar and automatically yell Geronimo. And I'm like, shut the hell up. I have neighbors and it's late. So, but yeah, the joke does go around a lot. It's funny. My business partner, Ariel, his last name is Geronimo. And being one of the original founders, obviously, of the company, when I came on board, which was before we even released our first cigar, he was wanting to, change and be like, no, it's only right if both of our names. But my last name is Rodriguez. There's a million Rodriguezes. There's a million Rodriguezes in the cigar industry. So I was like, bro, I don't give a shit about that. So Geronimo sounds way better and it's different. It's unique.
I like it.
I need to get mine out of the cellophane.
Of course you do. Well, while he does that, I'll tell you that it's a 5.5 by 52 cigar. And
smells delightful.
It features a San Andreas Maduro wrapper. It has a binder from Jalapa. And the fillers are from Condega, Esteli, and Jalapa.
You can really taste the Esteli.
I bet we can really taste the Esteli.
Jorge's like, what have I got myself into?
He's sniffing the foot of his cigar. He's just like, these guys.
This is really in there, Jorge. How do you guys pack these so tight?
It's really not. You're just dicking around.
What, the cellophane?
Yes.
I can tell you a lie, and I can tell you that the cellophane is, we do it for some special reason for the cigar to taste better, but I'd be bullshitting you. I don't know exactly why it's so tight. Maybe we ran out of the right size cellophane. That's all we had in the factory. I'm not sure, to be honest with you.
Dude, he's fucking with you.
Wait, it's still, okay. Well, oh my God. There we go. I got it.
Oh my God. Seriously.
Wow. I am worn out. That took some work.
He has this habit of doing that just to annoy me because he knows that I hate the crinkling on the microphone like that, and he stretches it out.
Smoke it with the cellophane on.
Yeah, there you go.
I have seen people cut their cigar with the cellophane on.
Yes.
No, just smoke it with the cellophane on, and if you guys still think it's good after that, then it should win Cigar of the Year.
I like it. Well, it is time that we go ahead and cut the cigar, and the official cutting is brought to us by Dan the Man Ponder over at Riverman Cigar Company of Crestwood, Missouri. Dan the Man, I was just scoping out the Instagram just a little bit ago, and Dan was hanging out in the lounge with his mother Jane, having a cigar, having a Fuente, and it's been a little bit since Jane's been hanging in the cigar lounge, with everybody, but she made a return trip to the lounge today, and that was nice. That would have been nice to see Jane today, but I didn't make it by. But
we're recording here on the
in the JRE Tobacco Aladino Mobile Studios
on the back of
your ex-wife's house, because I had to come to you again. But anyway, back
wow.
to it's a whole thing. so yeah. Oh, dude.
Oh,
we'll catch you up.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So guys, Riverman Cigars. You got to head by Riverman. You got to see what Dan's got in the humidor. There's new stuff coming in all the time. Lots of new stuff coming from a variety of different companies. He's got the main brands. He's got the boutique brands. You want to make sure you get over there and scope out what Dan has in his humidor. And if you're not in the St. Louis area, but you want to support a brick and mortar company, Dan does mail order, so you just got to give Riverman Cigar Company a call, and he can get a box of cigars sent to you right away. So it's Riverman Cigar Company of Crestwood, Missouri.
When you're on the phone, tell Cindy or Little John we said hi.
Exactly. So with that, it's time that we go ahead and cut the cigar.
I even waited to cut.
You did.
We have a guest.
You didn't prematurely cut like
we have a guest.
Recently. So, all right. So we're going to give this guy a cut.
Have you smelled the foot on this?
I have not.
I haven't done a cold draw yet.
Ooh.
I can't. My mind keeps going back and forth between citrus and floral.
There is a sweetness on the cold draw.
Oh, definitely.
Mm-hmm. That's that Maduro. It's got that sweetness to it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and get mine lit up.
So, Jorge, are we pretty close there? He didn't even do the cold retrohale.
I didn't.
I have patented the cold retrohale. It is a thing now.
I actually, I don't know if you noticed, but before I was smelling the foot, and it's amazing. Not only did we blend this cigar, but every time I smoke it, for some reason I still always smell the foot and do the cold draw on it. So I don't know. Just every time, it's like I don't know. I don't understand. It's like having a baby. You kind of look at your kid growing up, and you're like, damn, where did the time go? I think the same thing with this damn cigar. Every time I smoke it, it's like, oh man, I'm so excited. I wonder what this is gonna taste like. And I'm like, well, I wonder what it's gonna taste like. I just smoked it yesterday.
Even on the cold retrohale, good solid floral notes. It's really a sweet, like honeysuckle, is what I'm tasting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, honeysuckle.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
Well, while you go ahead and get yours lit up, George, why don't you tell us about Geronimo Cigars? How did it get going? You said that you kind of jumped into it a little bit after its birth there. So why don't you tell us a little bit about the company?
So everything dates back to 2013. My business partner, Ariel, Geronimo, and myself, right around that time, a little before that, we were in nightlife together. We did a lot of promotions for different nightclubs and bars in the area and stuff like that. And, we were both at a young age. And in one of the events, I'll never forget, he showed up with a cigar and I showed up with a cigar. And at the time, I was 18, 19 years old. And he said, bro, you like cigars? And I said, yeah, do you? He goes, yeah, of course. So we kind of instantly had like a bond. You know how it is, when you meet anybody else who likes cigars, you're kind of already friends.
Yeah.
Even though we were friends. And especially at the fact that, we were both young. I was, if I was 18 or 19, he must have been 21, 22 around there. And we instantly kind of clicked about it. So we kind of went from more just working together on the weekends to hanging out, smoking cigars and stuff like that. And we'd always bullshit around like, bro, how cool would it be to have our own brand or our own line or our own cigar? And we were like, yeah, I don't take, all this money and all this time. I've kind of always been a little bit of a dreamer, that, I like an idea and I think it's great, but then I was always sit back and just be like, yeah, whatever. Like, I don't have time. Ariel, on the other hand, is the type of guy where he's a little bit more behind the scenes, but he's the one that kind of makes everything happen. So I remember one time, we didn't probably we spoke, but we didn't probably actually have much interaction for like a good 6 or 7 month period. I had just had my daughter was born. He had his first daughter was already born. And he calls me one day. He says, hey, bro, you want to do breakfast? And I said, yeah, let's do breakfast. So we go to breakfast. We have breakfast. He slides me 4 cigars across the table. And he says, hey, look, try these out. I want to see what you think. And I said, okay, no problem. To me, it was just a normal cigar trade like we've always done before.
Yeah.
I go home, I smoke the cigar. I'm like, damn, bro, this is a pretty damn good cigar. So I called him up the next day and I said, hey, this is a damn good cigar. He goes, good, I'm glad you like it. It's ours. I said, what? He goes, yeah, that's our cigar. I said, well, bro, are you drunk? What's wrong with you? It's early in the morning. You still hung over from last night. What's going on? And he's like, no, bro. He goes, these last few months, I've been traveling back and forth to the Dominican Republic, and I found, how to make cigars over there now. I said, you're shitting me. He goes, no. I said, all right, well, fuck it. Let's go. We hopped on a plane and we went to the Dominican Republic. And in the process of that, we learned everything that has to do with cigars. We did things ass backwards. We did things backwards from the beginning. Most people develop a brand, a line. They have somebody make their cigar for them. They buy tobacco, blah, 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 whatever the case is. We did everything the way you shouldn't do it. We literally were driving through Santiago, through this town called Villa González. We stopped on the side of the road, and there's this field there where they're growing tobacco. So we get out the car. Mind you, he's Dominican, I'm Cuban. I stick out over there like a sore thumb.
Okay.
You know, just my accent is different. We get out the car, we're walking through this tobacco field, and some guy says, "Hey, who the hell are you guys? Like, what are you guys doing?" And I said, "Oh, we came to look at the tobacco." He says, "Bro, you're going to get shot. You can't do that. You're walking around on people's tobacco fields." And then we come to find out when we turn around and look that probably, I don't know, 500-600 feet down the street from us was the back of the Davidoff building.
Oh, jeez. Oh, shit.
So it just so happened, yeah. So it just so happened to be that the guy that stopped us lived there. He was a local tobacco farmer, and very nice guy. To this day, we're still very good friends with him. He was like, "Look, you know, what are you guys trying to do?" We told him we're trying to get into the tobacco business. He kind of like chuckled us a little bit. He's like, more tourists. Like, you know, everybody's trying to get in the business. Long story short, he saw that we were serious. We ended up leasing 36 acres, and we started growing our own tobacco.
Okay.
With that being said, we started growing our own tobacco. Whatever we didn't use, we would sell. We rented I'm going to be honest with you, it's probably like more like a house, like an apartment / house. And we opened up a factory. We had three or four part-time rollers. Everyone remembers better. That worked. I think one worked at Davidoff, one worked at Fuente. I don't remember. But every time they'd get off of work, they'd come over to the factory. We had tables made and everything, and they'd roll for us. Now, being a brand new company with no accounts, with nothing going on, for the amount of tobacco that we were using to produce cigars and all that, it was just too ridiculously expensive to make the cigars.
Yeah.
With that being said, we had to then revert back and start using somebody to make our products. So that's kind of how we started with our beginning. That's kind of how we started developing cigars. We did everything backwards. But we rode the 6 a.m. bus to the factory with the workers. We spent all day long in the fields. We went to the Intabac in the Dominican Republic. So we've been robbed. We've been through a lot of different things that most people don't want to go through. So
you guys did do kind of things at backwards, because it seems like a lot of the little brands, they kind of start off by I don't want to say hiring it out, but basically hiring it out. You know, they find they work with like a La Aurora or one of the other kind of Aganorsa or somebody like that to work on the blend and have them kind of craft the cigars for them and everything. And then after a little while, they kind of then branch off on their own and maybe get their own factory going in their own rollers. You guys kind of went the opposite way, started with your own team, and then I guess pull back?
Yeah, so our main concern, and one of the main reasons why we always wanted to do things that way, was we wanted control. I don't think that we're control freaks, but one of the things that we noticed very early on in this whole process of being in the cigar business was that what really moves cigars and what really sells cigars is consistency, quality and consistency.
Definitely. Yes.
I'm sure you guys have seen this too. There's brand, and I'm not knocking anybody. I actually smoke other people's products. I can take you and show you my humidor inside the house. I have multiple other brands in my humidor. So I smoke everything, not just my own stuff. With that being said, a lot of people I've noticed will release a cigar that is phenomenal. Their first line is they put their heart and soul to it, and it's a great smoke. Then when they release the next batch, the cigar isn't worth shit. And that's one thing that we really did not want. We looked at what are all the big guys doing? How are they in business after 100 years? What are they doing? And we noticed that everything was 100% consistent. That you would pick up one cigar from 1 year's cosecha, and you'd pick up a cigar from a cosecha that was 5 years before it, and the cigar tasted exactly the same. And that's why we wanted to have control over the whole show from the beginning, because we wanted to maintain that consistency and that quality. But the numbers don't lie. So it just didn't make sense for a company that wasn't producing, 100,000 cigars. Or I'm just using that number as an example, but you get what I mean.
No, that makes perfect sense. I mean, it's one of those things that you got to build up to it. You build the business as you build the sales and everything. So it's one of those things. So very cool. So Jeff, what are you thinking of the Principio?
The El Principio by Geronimo.
Exactly.
Actually,
You just like saying. You just wanted to say
I
it.
just wanted to say Geronimo. No, it's
Go ahead and yell it.
Geronimo.
There you go. Get it out of your system early.
There
There
you go.
you go. And often, as you'll come to find on as the show progresses.
Anyway.
Here, yeah. So, no, this is a really creamy, smooth cigar. I'm still getting notes of floral.
Yeah.
On the
Yeah.
smoke.
It is very smooth. Been a really good cigar. There's a little lingering kind of spice. I don't want to say. Maybe a little pepper, maybe a little baking spice.
A little baking spice
kind
for
of
me,
hanging out in the back of the throat there, but
like a nutmeg or
something. Yeah, but no, it's really good.
Yeah, no, great cigar. And I'll be honest, dude, this cigar would scare me off in the humidor. I'm a Connecticut shade grown guy.
Ooh, do
What's
that
that?
retro hail.
Okay, hold on.
Do the retro hail. It's got a little bit of something to it. It's not oppressive. It's not like going to bowl you over.
No, but it's not peppery.
It's maybe a hint, a little hint.
I hate to say this, it's more cinnamony on the retro hail.
It's that baking spice on the retro hail. Yeah. I don't know.
Don't let it fool you. Wait till you start getting closer to the end.
Okay, we're building up to it. Is what
there
he's
you
saying.
go. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it is a Nicaraguan cigar, so I assumed that there was going to be, some spice and some pepper
and
coming
whatnot,
into it and everything. So George, tell us a little bit about the line then. So obviously you have the El Principio.
Correct. So originally we released El Principio in the Dominican Republic. We released a Connecticut. It was an Ecuadorian Connecticut wrapper that we were using, and a Habano, an Ecuadorian Habano wrapper. We released both of those blends out of the Dominican. We never had a Maduro. Maduro is always something that we wanted to build up to, but unfortunately, or fortunately, because now we have one, but we ended up not doing it over there. So the line went well, man. The line was something that most people loved. It was something new. So, whenever you introduce something new, it's always hard. Nothing's ever easy if not everybody would have their own cigar, even though it feels like everybody's coming out with their own lines nowadays. But you get what I mean.
No, I do.
So, man, we did good. We started opening up accounts. We started really moving, hosting events. We started hiring employees. Everything was going great, but we still were always lacking a Maduro. And everywhere we went, one of the main concerns, not concerns, but one of the main issues that we were having either at events or at cut-and lights or wherever was you don't have anything strong. Because they were both more mild, smokes. Even the Habano was not even much of a medium. The Habano was a borderline medium.
Okay.
They were very cut, dry, simple blends. They were good everyday smokes. There was a cigar that it was very consistent. You were never going to go wrong with it. It always tasted the same. It always gave you the same profile. They weren't very complex. And unfortunately, what we noticed is that our current blend that we had, we felt like was a little outdated for the market. Then, the market started shifting into 60 ring gauges. The market started shifting into stronger smokes, complex smokes, where a 60 ring gauge 10 years ago was an abnormal cigar.
Yeah.
You saw something at the 60 ring gauge, you were like, what are you doing? Just like where, 10, 15 years ago, a strong cigar wasn't really what was popular. Same thing with complexity. If you made a complex cigar, people were like, why does the cigar keep changing flavor, blah, blah. It's kind of weird. Where now that's what people look for. If you make a cut, dry, simple, everyday smoke, very good flavor, very good on the retro hail, that just doesn't cut it nowadays. So we realized very quickly that we needed to add something to the line. We kind of sat back. We had some manufacturing issues. And by manufacturing issues, what I mean with that is we were just not having the quality we were looking for where we were at. So we kind of reverted a little bit, and we started working with a factory out of Nicaragua that we absolutely love. They've been phenomenal with us. And, we started kind of testing different things and doing different things with them. There's certain products that they already had that we brought on board, started distributing, we were getting feedback from our accounts, not only from our current accounts, but we were actually able to offer it to other accounts that gave great feedback as well. So when we saw that, it was a time after time quality cigar we were getting, when it was a time after time cigar that we would give to anybody, and there was very little to no negative feedback. And, obviously with a hand-rolled product, you're going to have something happen at times.
Yeah.
Not every single cigar is perfect. So, and that's what I mean by it wasn't 100% great feedback, because if you get 100% great feedback, you're bullshitting. That's not true.
Well, and everybody has different, palates and
correct.
opinions too. I mean, like I like a medium to bold cigar with a lot of spice, whereas my co-host here, he tends to like the mild to medium with more of a creamy, smooth note to it. So, he and I, we have some crossover, but we have some differences as well.
And that's phenomenal, because whenever you guys are going to give a review, or whenever you guys are going to, I feel like, test a new product out, you guys can use two different angles from what you like and what he likes, and you guys can really come to a good conclusion, I think, over the cigar, an unbiased conclusion.
I hope that's how we do it.
I try.
Yeah. I mean,
that's just me from the outside looking.
I give it minimal effort, but Nick tries.
Yeah, that's true. You do give it minimal effort.
With that being said, from what you were asking me, once we saw kind of what we were working with and we had a good feel and we felt very comfortable, is when we decided, it's time to bring in Principio back out to the market. And we weren't just going to bring it back out to the market how it was. We really wanted to kind of give it a facelift and a revamp, but still stay true to it. So, for an example, the band, as you're looking at the band, I'm sure you guys are seeing that it's, the gold with the red.
Yeah.
The original band actually was exactly the same, but all the red was blue. And we noticed that at first it caused some confusion, because the Connecticut's and the Habanos were the same color band. And, sometimes people were having issues differentiating from the Connecticut or the Habano.
Yeah.
And we kind of wanted to set things apart, and we kind of wanted to do something different. So for this one, we did a red band on it. Obviously, it's a lot harder to confuse a Maduro for a Connecticut, but you never know with people nowadays.
I would say, it's one of those things. It doesn't hurt to use that color scheme in the band to differentiate between the different wrapper types.
Correct. Our box, we left the box alone. We changed a little bit, and we actually put lacquer on this box, so this box would stand out a little bit more. It would be a little bit more shiny. Our box is a coffin style box of 20. What we did was, in comparison to the other box, before you would slide the top of the box out, and the top was just floating in the wind. Now there's a slot for you to be able to put it in the back, so when it's on display in a store or even for home personal use, whatever. So we got little nicks like that from the last go around that we perfected or tried to perfect. Now with the cigar itself, I took the cigar very personal, and I kind of took a little bit more of the headway on blending the cigar, and I'll tell you the reason why. I kind of took it personal, which you never should in business. But I took it personal, everybody asking about a strong cigar. And I started noticing a lot of people that were asking me for a strong cigar didn't even retrohale. Or I would ask them, hey, are you retrohaling that cigar? And they're like, I don't even know what that is. I don't know what you're talking about. And I'm not knocking anybody who doesn't do it. But as you guys, I'm sure, already know, whenever we're blending a cigar, you retrohale when you blend. I mean, there's no other way to get the flavors or the taste that you're looking for out of a cigar.
There's a lot of cigars that we've had on the show where all the flavor and complexity is in the retrohale. To where when you're actually smoking the cigar, we'll be talking and it'll be like, what are you getting on the cigar? I'm getting cigar. What are you getting? Cigar. But then you do that retrohale and it's like all of a sudden the clouds part and the angels are singing and you're realizing what this cigar has with it. Yeah.
Correct. So with that being said, I was getting frustrated, and I took it a little bit personal. And when we finally decided we were going to do the Maduro, I figured San Andreas Maduro was just a wrapper that I think time after time has proven itself. It's a very nice wrapper. It's a very oily wrapper. It has the strength that we were looking for. And we just kind of agreed as a team that, hey, that's the wrapper we're going to choose. Binder and filler, it was new for us working with Nicaraguan tobacco. We weren't as familiar with it as we were with the Dominican tobacco, just being at the fact that, we started in DR and we were there a lot longer. But it's not hard to figure out which Nicaraguan tobaccos are good and which ones you like. I mean, for the most part, I haven't had much bad Nicaraguan tobacco yet.
Yeah.
So that was kind of a more straightforward process. You know, the reason why the filler on this cigar does have the 3 main regions of Nicaragua is because we couldn't pick which ones we actually liked more. So we said, fuck it, put all 3 of them in there.
Nice.
You know, and it was kind of like an experiment that I said, I don't think this is going to work. You know, whatever. Well, let's see what blend, you know, we get this time. But it actually came in and I was like, holy shit, this actually tastes pretty good. And, you know, the binder, we ended up going with Jalapa, and I'll tell you why we went with Jalapa. Jalapa tends to be a little bit more of a sweeter tobacco. The reason why we ended up going with a sweeter tobacco is because this cigar was very, very strong, almost abnormally strong. And that's the part where I'm telling you that I took it personal. I was looking, I got this craze with making the strongest cigar I could possibly make. Because what I wanted to do is go back to everybody I had ever spoken to that told me that our cigars weren't strong. And I wanted to give them a cigar that was going to destroy one of their lungs, which was not the right frame of mind. It took a lot of long nights on the phone with the factory and, you know, sitting down with the team and Ariel and kind of just saying, yo, bro, you need to relax and you need to stop taking this personal because this, at the end of the day, still is a business. So we do have to sell cigars.
So, Jorge, what you're saying there is this was a spike blend. I like that.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I can appreciate that.
If that's how you want to put it, I mean, this is not something that was done last minute. This is something, this blend right here, I want to say to give you kind of just an estimated, as most accurate time. I don't have it officially written down. This took about a year to blend.
Okay.
And multiple people were asking, and it's not something that we knew exactly what we wanted. I didn't call the factory and said, I want this tobacco, this binder, and this wrapper. The only thing that I was 100% for sure on was that I wanted a San Andreas Maduro wrapper. Binder and filler, I was open for whatever at that point. And we had multiple different blends where I would not only, you know, we get very in depth. It's not just, hey, send me something with spice or send me something with strength. You know, us obviously being in the fields and knowing the tobacco, I could specifically call the factory and say, hey, it needs more seco or more viso or more ligero. What are the percentages? You know, because a lot of people that are starting off or a lot of people that don't know too much about the actual construction of a cigar, they just will call their factory or whoever they're working with and say, hey, I want it stronger or I want it creamier or I want more nutmeg in it. How do I then, someone tells me I want more nutmeg, how do I in Spanish call the factory and say, put more nutmeg in the cigar? They're going to be like, don't ever call here again.
Yeah.
Because they're not sprinkling nutmeg on the filler tobacco.
No,
you know what I mean?
You're having to figure out what kind of tobacco correlates to nutmeg and all that. Yeah.
Correct. So once we kind of figured out a blend that we were all very happy with, now it went down to the process of actually selecting the tobaccos. Because I could easily tell you this is this tobacco from this region, this is an Esteli, this is a Jalapa, this is this. But I wasn't happy with just that. I wanted to know what priming, you know, and what cosecha. Cosecha is obviously with what, I don't know how you say cosecha in English. Do you guys know what cosecha is?
I have no idea.
Like crop? Like what crop?
Okay.
Cosecha is the crop. So like that, what year's crop pretty much, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So let's say, for an example, we were using El Ligero. I wanted to know what priming on the tree was that Ligero and from what crop season was it? Because then I was looking at to see in Nicaragua in 2016, how was their crops for that year? You get what I mean?
Yeah,
so
exactly.
We were even going down to just the actual quality of the tobacco, and I didn't care how much a cigar cost. I wanted it to be the highest quality, the highest priming tobacco we could find, and that's exactly what we did. Now, we still were having into the issue that everybody started thinking that cigar was an ass kicker. I personally, a couple times lit the cigar as soon as they came in. I didn't even give the cigars time to rest. As soon as, you know, they did their natural resting in the factory, but, you know, when you're test blending, you don't give it much rest.
Yeah.
As soon as we received them, one time I think we received shipments at like 12:30 at night. I sat at the warehouse till about 3 or 4 in the morning smoking.
That's
I was
awesome.
just that eager. And a couple times I actually lit the cigar and I kind of cried a little bit. And it wasn't from excitement. It was because as soon as I retrohaled, my eyes watered up. It was just very overpowering. And finally, after multiple conversations with multiple different people, they were telling me, bro, you have an obsession. This is bad. So I really kind of had to sit back and think, well, what are we going to do now? I love this blend, but it's an ass kicker. So the jalapa binder comes into place there because, the jalapa, you do get a sweetness to it. All Nicaraguan tobacco tends to be sweeter, but jalapa, in my opinion, has sweeter tobacco. With that being said, this cigar is also aged in whiskey.
Okay.
A lot of the sweetness you're smelling at the foot, a lot of the sweetness that you're getting from the cold draw, a lot of the sweetness you're getting from the retrohale does have to do with the whiskey. Mind you, the cigar is not infused in any way. The cigar was not intended to taste, flavored, infused, all of the above. What we did with this was we had a coffin made, literally a coffin, at the factory, cedar coffin, and we soaked it with whiskey. Once it was all completely soaked up, there was no liquid left. We got the cigar after already being rolled and after already sitting in the regular aging room for anywhere between 2 to 3 months. Then we passed them into the coffin and let them sit in there for a couple more months. So really at that point, it was just kind of soaking up whatever fumes and whatever smell was left. And that's where we kind of did our whiskey process. A lot of people get the raw material, they put it in the whiskey barrels, they let it sit, and then they pour it out, blah, blah. We weren't looking for that dark wood, oaky rye flavor. That and that's what you get a lot of times when you actually put the tobacco in barrels. I forgot who I was that I was talking to, but somebody told me, look, cigars are sponges. If you put a cigar in your fridge next to the onions, it'll start tasting like onion.
Yep.
So that's where I kind of got the idea. I was like, shit, where if we put it in a coffin that used to have whiskey in it, it'll probably soak it up, but it won't penetrate it to the point where people think it's infused. It'll just give it that right amount of sweetness. And it actually was a success because I feel like it toned down the strength of the cigar a lot, where the cigar is very pleasant. The cigar is something that I wouldn't necessarily recommend to beginners. But
I wouldn't say this is a first-timer cigar, No.
But if you are a lighter cigar smoker, if you're a more mild to medium like your co-host, this is still something that he can enjoy.
Oh, absolutely.
So to that point then, what are you thinking about the Principio?
It's starting to ramp up a little bit. I'm at the halfway point.
I'm getting close to the halfway point. I'm right about at the halfway point. You're right.
You've been doing more of the interview than I have since you're the one on camera and I'm not.
Well, that's because you always sit on the other side of the table.
Social distancing.
Whatever.
Yeah, social distancing.
I'm fine with you social distancing since you don't have pants on today.
I've got my shorts on.
You have boxers on.
These are shorts.
Well, they were really short when you got up earlier. Did you put pants on when you went in the house for coffee?
Why were you looking?
I wasn't. It was obvious when you tripped over the cord heading inside for coffee.
Yeah, I almost took us off the air before we even started.
Did you put on pants when you went inside for coffee?
I was wearing pants the whole time.
I don't remember seeing pants earlier. I could have swore. Anyway.
Jorge, I want to apologize.
No,
it's all good, man. I'm actually not wearing pants either.
Well, there you go.
There we go. I knew I liked Jorge.
So, what are you thinking about the cigar?
It's an excellent cigar. I'm genuinely happy with the cigar. It's got great flavors. Like you said, it is complex. It's changing up at the halfway point. I don't know what else I can say about it. It's a good stick.
No, I'm digging it. So,
which I'm excited about because I've never had this cigar before.
Yes.
And, it's always apprehensive on the show when you go into it for the first time, and it's like, man.
And you've got the brand owner on the show with you.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, what's going on?
I'm actually glad you guys are doing it that way. We've had quite a bit of people that have reached out to us, and they've asked for a higher quantity of cigars because they've wanted to smoke it 2 or 3 times before going live because they want to make sure that they hit the right points. I don't know if that's because they want to make sure it's good before they waste their time, which, hey, I can respect that. But a lot of people want to smoke it first and then kind of alter what they're going to say. One of the things that I try to explain to everybody is we're so confident, we stand behind this cigar so much that we'll smoke it live at any moment with anybody. And hey, if you honestly say it's bad or think it's bad, I respect you for that. But to this point, it has not happened. That has not been the case. So I actually appreciate you guys, doing what you're doing and for having us on the show and really just kind of giving it that's the start that you guys gave it. You guys went into it blind, and I actually like that you guys went into it blind. Because even when we're sitting down now and we're trying to figure out how to better the cigar, if in any way we can, this is stuff that we go based off of.
The only thing that I would say, in the spirit of full disclosure and total honesty, I did a V cut on mine. I used my Colibri Deep V, And
I did a V on mine as well.
And I must have gone just maybe a little too deep with the deep V, so my cap cracked, and so about half of the wrapper on the cap came off. But what I will say is, on a lot of cigars, when that happens, I mean, it doesn't take long
then it's a struggle
before it's unraveling on me. I've got shards of tobacco in the mouth, and it's just a nightmare to deal with. And I'm at the halfway point of this cigar, and it's held together really, really well. It's not coming apart on me. Nope. I mean, look, is it the most attractive, kind of thing going on at this point? Maybe not, but I'm not having that shard of tobacco problem.
See, and I didn't have the problem with my V cut.
And what I'll say is, this was total user error on my part. Yeah. This is not anything to do with the cigar. So, it's one of those things that maybe next time I'll do a straight cut, or maybe
use the perfect cut or something.
Pull the V cut back just a little bit.
Because that deep V does go deep.
It does.
Yeah,
that happens.
Exactly. That's exactly it. It's
with any cigar.
User error. I mean, it happens. I'm not saying anything negative whatsoever about the old Principio here. So
the flavor on this thing is outstanding.
I'm liking it. So going back for a minute, you mentioned that you had Connecticut and Habano, and then now this is your Maduro. Do you guys still do the Connecticut and the Habano?
No. So what we did was, one of the main things that we kind of learned, and this we learned on accident. This was a spike play. This next part, what we learned was trying to do these larger orders. A lot of people do large orders either because they need it or because they're trying to work out a better price. That's just the way it is. I don't know if I should say that, but that's just how it goes. I mean, if anybody thinks that this isn't a business and people think that people are just making cigars and spending hundreds of thousands of dollars to impress their friends, they're crazy. One of the things that we noticed was, how do we maintain quality and consistency when we're not in the factory every single day, when we're not living in the factory, when we're not in the Dominican Republic or in Nicaragua, even though we're always traveling. I was in the Dominican Republic last week. So we are always on the go. We have a presence in both countries and both factories. We're there as much as possible, but we don't not live there. So how do we make sure that we maintain and get the best quality and consistency? What we started doing was very small orders. You can say limited runs. You can say special editions. But with that is, if let's say every month we're bringing in 2,000 to 4,000 cigars, it's a lot easier to look over 2,000 to 4,000 cigars than looking over 10 or 15.
Definitely.
So one of the things that we did was we wanted to make sure we hit this nail on the head with this. This cigar has the recognition and respect it deserves. We want to make sure that with production, after we get the first few out the way, we're having no issues. The factory understands what we're looking for. Again, regardless, we're constantly traveling. We're constantly there. But shit happens sometimes. So we wanted to make sure this is something that we can kind of close our eyes and not have to spend so much time daily on it, to be able to focus the same amount of energy on other products. With that being said, we haven't done an official release. I'll say it to you guys. We will be releasing our Connecticut and our Habano again, with different blends, different but the same, if that makes any sense. We're going to try to stick to our original roots as much as possible, but we will be changing and adding some things to kind of give them a new modern feel to them, to kind of give the blends a little bit more of that that people are looking for. Okay. So we will be re-releasing the Connecticut and the Habano. Country of origin yet is still something that's disclosed, but they will be coming out in the near future. Plus other lines that we're working on. We have blends and stuff. We have a blend that we've been working on that's actually been sitting in the aging room now for about 6 months, because we really liked it. It's really good. I was just very curious to see what it was doing after 6 months of aging. And we'll see if 6 months of aging made a very big difference and we're ready to rock and roll, we'll rock and roll. If it didn't make much of a difference, then we know that blend doesn't take that much aging. Or if it did make a big difference and we're not ready to rock and roll yet, I'll let that bad boy sit for a year.
There you go. So, for the people interested in trying the El Principio,
and you definitely should.
Definitely. So is it available in some shops, or is it available on your website, or where can people find this?
So we do not sell retail online. We are strictly wholesale.
Okay.
We do have, gear. We actually have like the tumbler cups that we had made.
Yeah.
That are a cigar. So stuff like that we do sell on the website. But actual cigars and stuff, we stick to retailers. With that being said, we are in accounts, man, I guess at this point, even international. We have accounts in other countries, but we are on a national level in the United States. I think in you guys' area, you guys are in St. Louis, correct?
Yes.
We are not in an account in St. Louis.
Well, then I think our St. Louis shops need to get on the ball and get in touch with you guys and see about a sample.
Yeah, I can definitely recommend this cigar for sure.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. And if you guys can help with that, that's very much appreciated.
I think we can talk to a few people.
We can.
No, thank you guys. Now, with that being said, if anybody is interested, if anybody does buy online, you can literally type in Geronimo Cigars at Principio. There is multiple different online retailers that sell it. One of our biggest ones being Pravada. He carries a lot of our stuff and has been a very big supporter of Principio as well. GFP Cigars is another one online that carries the product, moves a lot of it, has been there since the beginning with us on this cigar, loves it a lot. So those are two of our bigger online guys, but we do have even a lot of retailers that sell online as well, that are either local or in other states that they can definitely purchase from. I mean, the list is kind of long for me to sit here and name everybody,
Do you have the list available on your website?
So if you go on our website, there is a store locator. You scroll all the way to the bottom. We do have a map with, red dots of, what stores we're in. We don't necessarily have it marked if that store sells online or not. But it'll give you a link to go to their website and then kind of take it from there.
Gotcha. Well, that's
but
good.
Just typing in our name with El Principio, you'll have multiple online retailers that should pop up.
Okay. Well, very cool.
Good deal. Well, like I said, I can't recommend
guys.
the cigar enough. I really enjoy it. You can really tell the pepper is building up, though, because it's on the tongue now, like it's resting there.
Yes, I just got to the point. I was maybe about an inch away from the burn line hitting the band. Mm-hmm. So I just took the band off just for, to avoid that issue. And you're right. The pepper, it is starting to build and linger a little bit.
It's sitting on the tip of my tongue, and it's just you just got that little pepper burn. I like it.
Yep.
One of the things that I actually wanted to ask you guys and get your feedback, because, even though I know you guys are supposed to be interviewing me, I like to get everybody's feedback, if that's okay with you guys.
Absolutely.
One of the things that we look for a lot when blending, not only just this cigar, but any cigar we do, we look for the cigar to leave a very clean palate. We don't like when you smoke a cigar today and tomorrow morning you wake up after brushing your teeth 100 times and you're still tasting the cigar. With that being said, how do you feel that the cigar leaves your palate?
I would say so we were just talking about how the pepper kind of lingers on the tongue a little bit, and it does to an extent, but I would say by and large it leaves the palate pretty clean. I mean, it's not.
It really does.
It's not a cigar that I'm worried that is going to be hanging with me, the rest of the day or anything.
We've all had those.
Yeah, we have. And and this is my first cigar of the day too.
Oh, is it?
So
number 3 for me.
Okay. Well, it's my first of the day. So, I'm coming into this pretty clean, and I don't feel, like I said, I don't feel like my mouth is cigar. I don't feel like I'm getting that. So, I have nothing bad to say about the cigar at all. In fact, it's like Jeff said, construction-wise, it's been really good. Burn line's been good. Mm-hmm. The ash holds together really, really well. The draw has been really good. The cut issue that I mentioned, that's on me. Don't nobody take that into account with anything. And I'll say, even with that, I'm not getting that mouthful of tobacco like I normally do whenever I do have an issue like this. So even that's holding together well. Flavor-wise, there's a lot going on with it. Like you said, the spice is kind of ramping up in the back half of this cigar.
Yep.
And I did just do a
creep on you.
I'm sorry?
It said it'll creep on you.
Okay. And then I did just do another retrohale while you were talking earlier, and
let me do one while you're talking.
Spice level on that has ramped up a little bit more. There's a lot going on with the cigar. So no, I really dig it. This is really good, and
you can really taste the pepper now on the retro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
do you guys retro hair every puff?
Not every
No.
puff. Not every puff.
Maybe twice, 2 or 3 times a show. So for me,
You see what I kind of started. I'll tell you my quick retrohale story. One of the first times that we were in the Dominican Republic and we were blending, we sat down and you get. I don't know if you guys have ever done any type of blend tastings or anything, but they put 5, 6, 10 cigars in front of you. There's coffee beans and coffee on the table, and you got people scraping your tongue and shit like that.
Oh wow, no.
Were you sure you weren't in some sort of interrogation?
It could have been. It felt like it. I'm not gonna lie.
That's what they do right before they waterboard you. So be careful with that.
Well, you know what's crazy actually? For when we first started going to the Dominican Republic, I know I keep getting off topic here, but when we first started going to the Dominican Republic a lot, probably the first year I was there maybe 6, 7 times in 1 year, and it never failed. Every time I'd come back into the States, they'd pull me to the side and take me into the customs room, and I would get interrogated on what I was going to the Dominican Republic for so much, what I was doing, this and that. I'm like, guys, listen, I don't know how many times I got to explain this. I have a business over there. Check it. You guys you're more than welcome to follow me. I don't know what you guys want at this point, but I literally got tired. The customs people already at the Fort Lauderdale airport knew my name.
Nice.
So they were like, hey, George, come on, your turn. So no, we're sitting at this big conference table. And one of the older guys that was there from the factory, he's like, hey, I've noticed in the last 4 cigars, you haven't, felt any strength. And I said, I'm not getting no strength from this. He goes, I don't even know what you're doing here. And I was like, what are you talking about? He goes, you don't even know how to smoke. And I said, what? I kind of felt offended because in a way, I'm like, I'm paying you. Like, how are you going to tell me I don't know how to smoke? I've been smoking for years.
Yeah.
He goes, bro, you don't retrohale. Again, this whole conversation is in Spanish. So you can imagine me talking to this older Dominican guy in Spanish. And I thought he was going to fight me at any moment. So he's like, you got to retrohale. And that's where I learned how to retrohale. And I took that so much to heart that literally every cigar I smoke, every puff I do, I retrohale.
Wow. Everyone.
I know it's not good, but I do it. But it all depends. See, and I don't want to use the whole I'm Cuban card, but obviously being Cuban, my dad, for an example, when he smokes, he actually, he swallows the smoke.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
So yeah, when I gave him this cigar and he tried it at first, I gave it to him with no band. I kind of gave it to him for a try. He smoked it and about a quarter into it. He's like, bro, this shit's strong. And I said, well, yeah, you're also inhaling. He goes, no. But he's like, I inhale everything. He goes, this is a strong cigar. And I was like, well, yeah, but 2% of the population do what you do. So don't.
Yeah.
But so I actually retrohale every single puff.
Interesting.
You're hardcore. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, I don't
know. It's just,
He wants to
I don't know.
He wants to get maximum flavor out of his cigar.
Maximum flavor. I like it.
That's good. Well, very cool. Well, now where can everybody follow Geronimo Cigars and find out more information about
Geronimo?
Bro, I'm telling you, you got to do it every 30 minutes. We're very big on Instagram. Facebook, we have a Facebook group where it's we just post for members and stuff like that. And really being a member is just you might see some exclusive releases or some stuff on there before we post it on any other social media. We have a bigger Instagram presence where I think we're over 8,000 followers at the moment.
Okay.
On Instagram.
So we're coming to the game late there.
The what?
I said we're coming to the game late on this then. If you got 8,000 followers, so.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. The whole Instagram follower thing, I for a while studied. All of us in the team actually, we kind of just studied the algorithms of Instagram, which Instagram is owned by Facebook.
Yep.
Trying to see how can we organically grow and get people, because I didn't want to pay for followers. At the end of the day, we're not selling retail anyway, so we could have 500,000 followers, and if they wanted to place orders, we wouldn't sell to them regardless.
Yeah.
But for notoriety, however you say it.
Notoriety.
English is my second language. I'm
there
sorry.
You go.
That. For those purposes, it's good to have it. For people to hear about us. Obviously, a lot of people. This is probably the first time they've heard about us, which is okay. So we've been a little bit more active on Instagram than Facebook. Not saying that we're not on Facebook either, but Instagram is definitely our strong suit.
Gotcha. Well, very cool. Well, I'm with Jeff. I will say I'm typically kind of nervous coming into a cigar that I've never smoked before, especially when we've got a representative from the company on the show with us and everything, because it's kind of one of those, like, God, I hope I like this. But, guys, in all seriousness, this is no BS. You got to try the El Principio. Good cigar. I really enjoyed it.
And not every cigar hits both our palates, so this worked out really well.
This worked out really, really well.
And that's what we were trying to do with the actual brown. Is we wanted to make sure that if you're a mild to medium, or if you're a medium to full, or if you're a full guy, you're going to like the cigar. Now, you're going to know when you're going to like it. Some guys might not smoke this in the morning. Some guys might not smoke this in the afternoon, or some guys might smoke this with coffee. It's just one of those cigars that, regardless of what type of smoker you are, I think it'll fit your palate and it'll fit your daily agenda.
Very cool. Well, George, we really want to thank you for taking time out of your Saturday to
thank you guys.
Come on and talk with us. And
Jorge,
everything.
Seriously, thank you.
Really want to appreciate it.
No, thank you guys. And if you guys are ever in Florida, please feel free to reach out. We are in Tampa. Let's get together.
Oh, we were just down there in November.
Yep, October, wasn't it?
Really?
No, it was November. It was just before Thanksgiving.
Oh, that's right.
And we're talking about trying to make a return trip down there at some point here this year.
We had so much fun in Ybor City.
Yeah, we hung out in Ybor and had a great time. So,
yeah, man, it's a cigar capital of the world.
Very cool. Well, yeah, no, we'll have to definitely hit you up when we're down there next.
Definitely. Please do.
We'll do. Well, George, seriously, man, thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Cool, man. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it from the bottom of our hearts. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Well, we really want to thank George for coming on with us. That was
Jorge
really cool.
was awesome.
He was cool.
Yep.
And I'll tell you what, I'm really, really digging the El Principio from Geronimo here.
I just finished mine up. It's an incredible cigar.
Yeah, I'm down to the final third here, and the spice level has ramped up.
FinalThirdCigar.com.
Let me do a final third retro hail here. Oh, yeah, definitely more pepper on the final third retro hail.
You know what? I've set mine down on the ashtray.
Oh, God, you're going to pick it out of that?
It's not. It was.
By the way, I love how you have two ashtrays on the table, a third on the rail, but you're using a Rubbermaid container full of ash to ash in.
You know what? And here's where there's no pleasing you, because I cleaned your ashtray out before you got here.
I'm just saying you have 3 ashtrays, but you're
and
using
I cleaned this one out too. And I put the ashes because I'm going to throw them in my compost.
Like, what are you doing?
So anyway, okay, I'm going to do the final third retro hail, or actually nub retro hail here.
Do you even have a light on that? Oh my gosh, you do have a light going on that.
I had just set it down.
Okay, I was going to say, I'm like, you do have a light going on that. Well, all right.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, the pepper is
most
strong
definitely
on the final third, and in your case, the nub here. So,
ooh, yeah, I'm burning my thumb.
Well, there you go. Well, why don't we go ahead and get into some Ask the Boys?
Let's do it.
Shall we play a game?
You talking to me? I have a question for you.
You gotta ask me nicely.
Ask me about my winner.
You got a question? You ask the 8-ball.
Come on, sucker. Let's get it on.
Well, it's that time again for Ask the Boys, where we answer all your listener questions. And guys, you can get your questions into us by calling the Ask the Boys hotline at area code 863-874-0000 and leaving a message. So we will go ahead and play the first call.
Hello, Misters Miller and Egbert. This is AT&T calling. Are you happy with your long-distance service? If not, then I would love to. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. It's Thick Smoke Ryan. I got the idea to pull off that joke because I started streaming Breaking Bad on Netflix, and after seeing that in episode 2 of season 1, I thought that'd be a perfect joke to try. Anyway, my question is, do you have any other recommendations for that I can stream on Netflix that are binge-worthy? Okay, talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Shows on Netflix that Ryan can
that are
stream.
binge-worthy. We've been doing the Leah Remini, the Scientology.
Oh, the...
Leaving Scientology or whatever, That has been interesting, to say the least.
I'm trying to think. I've been binging, but it's been a lot of, like, HBO stuff, because I got HBO Max, and I don't know if Ryan has HBO. He specifically asked about Netflix.
Netflix, yes.
What has been something binge-worthy?
If you haven't seen...
I mean, I was binging The New Girl on Netflix, but I'm done with that. And, I mean, I don't know if that's necessarily what he wants, so... Although I will say it was pretty funny.
I've never seen it.
It was entertaining.
I should probably watch it. I just haven't.
I liked the Nick Miller character.
Well, of course you did.
Well, no, actually, I kind of was going into it thinking I was going to not because everybody's all like, "Oh, Nick Miller."
You celebrate his whole catalog.
He actually grew on me. The Schmidt character was, I think, my actual favorite out of that, though.
Well, there you go.
So,
there's It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah, that's always a good one.
Always a good choice. I don't know if it's on Netflix. I hate to admit.
I know it's on Hulu. I don't know if it is on Netflix though. Let me go to my Netflix here real quick.
I'll tell you one. If you've never watched, you said you're doing Breaking Bad there. El Camino, by the way, when you get done with Breaking Bad, immediately watch El Camino.
I mean, there's always Better Call Saul,
which is part of the Breaking Bad series.
I've not watched it, but
it's actually really good.
Yeah,
it gives a lot of backstory.
Now there's a new show on Netflix called With Bob and David, and it's Bob Odenkirk and.
He's not doing very well. He collapsed on set the other day. Did you hear that?
Yeah, it's Bob Odenkirk and David Cross, and it's a comedy thing. So I'm assuming it's kind of a soft reboot, or maybe like a variation of like the old Mr. Show. I don't know if you ever watched Mr. Show on HBO, but they did that, and I'm wondering if it's kind of similar in tone and whatnot to that, but. So you got that going on there.
Now, I'll tell you, the movie I haven't got to see yet is Nobody with Bob Odenkirk.
Yeah, I want to see that.
I really want to watch that, and I haven't got to see it yet. So
I hear good things about The Good Place. I haven't watched that yet.
I don't know what that is.
It's,
it's a show?
It's a show.
Okay.
I haven't watched it yet. I hear good things about it, but...
Hey, I'll tell you...
It's always Tiger King, you know?
Well, yeah. I met that guy.
We know.
Yeah. So, I was going to mention, if you haven't watched The Walking Dead.
Oh, God.
Oh, dude, it's really good.
I hear good things about Ozark. That's one that's on my binge list to watch here soon.
I watched, the first season, and it just didn't hook me.
I heard good things about it, especially if you liked Breaking Bad. I heard it was really good.
Everybody talks about it. It just didn't suck me in, which is weird, because I usually like... Jason Bateman?
Yeah.
Anything he's in, I think, is entertaining. And
another one on there that everybody... I've seen the first season, and I really liked it. I just need to catch up is Stranger Things.
Oh, dude. Yeah, Stranger... And the new season's getting ready to come out.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What else is on here that's like... Ooh! There's one called Shot in the Dark. It was only one season.
Yes.
And it was kind of a documentary kind of style show where it followed these guys, and what their job was is they would have police scanners in the car, and they would go to accidents, fires, police chases, and all that.
It's like real life Nightcrawler.
And they would take video and pictures and then turn around and sell it to the news stations.
Yep.
For their news packages.
Which Nick always said that I needed to be doing that.
You love going and taping, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it would be a perfect job for you. But it was only one season, but it was really, really good. It's called Shot in the Dark.
And I think we both liked it because of the journalism aspect of it, too.
Yeah, but, there was a lot going on in that show. It was really good. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that pops out at me that... Yeah, there's nothing else that's, popping out. And, here's my whole gripe about Netflix and Hulu and all that, is that I wish... And guys, if there is somewhere on here that what I'm about to describe is available, and I've missed it, call the Essa Boys hotline and give me the directions on how to find it.
The skinny, as it were.
I wish there was a history. I wish there was some way I could go back and look at everything that I've watched on Netflix or Hulu or something so that I can say, oh, I really liked this show. Because when I'm done with a show, I take it off my list. And once it's off my list, I forget about it because I can't go back and do that.
Now, on Netflix, though, they do have the continue watching, but they also have watch again.
Yeah,
I don't know how long they'll stay in that queue.
I was going to say, I don't know how long, but yeah, I really would like... for there to be, just a watch history.
I've also wanted that similar feature on Pornhub.
Oh.
It's hard to find things again.
Oh. Okay. Well, this got awkward. Anyway.
Hey, at least I got pants on.
So yeah, true. So anyway, I've been watching a lot of stuff on HBO though. I just got done obviously watching Oz. We've talked about that before.
Yes.
I'm kind of in the middle of watching Veep on there.
You know what? That's a good little show.
I like it. And then I've also been watching The White Lotus. That's
What is that?
It's a new show that's been coming out every Sunday. There's 3 episodes out right now, and it's all about a hotel down in Hawaii, and all these people are on the vacation there, and you can tell that something ominous is going on, like something bad is going to happen to everybody.
Is there any nudity?
But you don't. There has been some, yes.
Oh, good.
Actually.
Okay.
But
that always keeps me into the story.
But you don't really know what's going on just yet. But it's got Steve Zahn and it's got a couple of different people that I recognize in there. The one gal from the first season of True Detective is in there.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
And I don't remember her name.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's in it, and I don't know. And the one gal that's been in all the one guy's movies, like Best in Show and Waiting for Guffman and like all that.
Oh, from Schitt's Creek?
Not that guy. It's a girl.
No, but the mom in Schitt's Creek.
No, different lady. Anyway, but no, for what it's worth, I can't remember her name, and I'm not going to look it up. But anyway, The White Lotus has been entertaining. But it's not done yet, so I don't know if it's actually good or not. So anyway, we'll move on to the next question.
The show that I'm going to mention, and again, I don't know if it's on Netflix. We're not moving on. I still got one more show.
Of course you do.
Resident Alien.
I know.
You haven't watched it yet, have you?
No, I haven't.
Dude, you're missing out. I don't know where they go after season 1, but season 1 was phenomenal. It was Pirate Steve.
Yes, I know.
I can't think of his name.
I know who you're
talking about. It's a great show. You really do need to watch it.
You've hyped it up plenty of times. At some point, I'll get around to it. I have a whole list.
Just move it to the top. It's one season, dude.
It's just, I got to be in the mood.
It's really funny.
I'm just not in the mood.
It's really funny.
So, all right, moving on. Next question here.
Hey, guys. It's Adam here. Long-time caller, first-time listener. Been away for a while,
That's become a thing now.
Up with me, work, all the fun stuff. But now that you guys know my true identity, safe to say that none of that stuff really matters. So, getting into my question for you guys. We've got about, an 800 count Winador or so. I've probably got anywhere between 300 to 500, maybe a little more cigars in there. And I've used Boveda packs since I've had it. And they work good. I haven't had an issue. And they hold humidity great. That seal on the door really keeps that humidity in. But I just got tired of pulling the drawers open and just seeing Boveda packs. I want to open up the drawers and see the cigars and see, the beautiful different bands and the cigars and the wrappers, all the good stuff. Anyhow, I decided to upgrade and get a Cigar Oasis. Got it all hooked up, set up, ready on the phone, got it in, set my humidity right around 68. Left for vacation and came back, and my hygrometers are reading between 74 and 75%.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
A couple of my unwrapped cigars, without cellophane, had some mold on them. A little bit upset about that, but, just thought I'd ask, what do you guys think's going on here? I'm a little bit confused. I've never really had any issues with humidity ever up until I bought this. And, I figured this would be just a set and forget kind of thing like they claim. I'm not sure if maybe the seal on the door is just holding in too much humidity, or, I've tried to burp the thing, I don't know how many times, cracked the seal a few times on it for overnight, and it just jumps up to 74. So I'm a little upset, a little confused, really trying to get this thing back on track to where it's at. In the summer months, I keep the Winador unplugged, because I like to keep around 70 degrees, and it only goes up to about 68. So I like to keep it unplugged, keep a pretty constant temp in there. So I'm just a little confused, upset. I'm hoping you guys can help me out. Shout out to Bovida. Maybe they'll want to sponsor me from this call. Maybe not, but who cares? Anyhow, it was nice catching up with you guys, and sorry I've been distant for a while, but don't worry, I'll be back to calling every week, asking you guys interesting and dumb questions. Take care, brothers. Stay smoky, and have a great week.
We like interesting.
Talk to you later.
We like interesting and dumb questions.
It's true. And this one's not a dumb question.
This one's not a dumb question. So I have a couple of thoughts right off the bat. The first is, if I'm right, I'm pretty sure Adam lives up in Ohio.
Okay.
Because I think he
Tell me about
lives near
Ohio.
Gervais. And so I'm wondering, I know here in St. Louis in the summer months, our humidity jumps significantly. And then in the wintertime, it drops significantly.
Last week, it was 137% humidity. We were walking through just solid water.
I don't know if that's accurate or not.
No.
But
So it was
anyway,
somewhere around that range.
It was at least near 100, but I don't know if it can go above 100. But anyway, but what I will say is, you were talking about how you kind of left the seal open overnight and everything. It might be that you were pulling in just the ambient, humidity from the air. And rather than taking humidity out of the wine-ador, maybe you were actually adding. I don't know. But the thing I would say is, maybe it's a situation where if you're getting mold on the uncellophane cigars, then your humidity level is too high. So I would think maybe you said you set the Cigar Oasis at 68. Maybe drop it down.
Yeah,
maybe
that was going to be one of my two recommendations.
Yeah, like it's one of the...
Move it to 62 and see what it does.
Yeah, drop it down to 62, see if maybe it, kind of settles somewhere in the middle there. Because I'm thinking, if you're at 60, if you're setting it to 68, but your hygrometer is telling you between 74 and 75, you've got a, what?
One or the other
6
is
to
off.
7 point difference there. So if you want it at 68, maybe set it somewhere in the neighborhood of 62 on the Cigar Oasis, and maybe it'll drop it down accordingly.
Now I'm going to have some listeners go nuts on me here.
I would also say, if you haven't contacted Cigar Oasis about this problem, I would do that too.
Well, yeah.
Those things they're not cheap enough to have this happen and, not reach out for some sort of customer service about it. So.
Now, one other thing that I was going to mention, and again, I started to say that some of the listeners are probably going to take issue with this because everybody takes issues with something I say. But, first and foremost, I would get your cigars out of that humidor. I would wipe that humidor down maybe with a water vinegar, like white vinegar mix.
Only because you had the mold issues on those couple of cigars.
Yeah,
because
you want to get rid of that.
Over.
Yeah. And quite frankly, I had this happen in my smaller humidor at one point. Cleaned it out, and I've even had people tell you, like on the wood ones, you've got to sand them down and all. I didn't do all that, but I did wipe it down with white vinegar. And, just cleaned it all out and then let it sit for a couple of days, then rehumidified it. But in the meantime, I actually wiped down all the cellophane on my cigars too.
Yeah.
And, that way if there were any mold spores, if those had bloomed at all, you want to get rid of those too in your humidor. And I know with 300 to 500 cigars, it's going to be a task, but I would recommend that.
Yeah. No, it's definitely something to consider doing because the last thing in the world you want to do is have mold and think you got rid of it by getting rid of the cigars and then turn around and just, have it continue sweeping through.
Now, what is it that goes on on an aged cigar, you'll have...
Bloom.
Yeah, but that's not mold.
No, I'll be honest. The whole bloom and mold thing and everything, personally...
You're anti-bloom, I take it?
I'm not anti-bloom. I just, for me, it's kind of difficult to tell. It's not... It shouldn't be difficult to tell the difference, at least in theory.
Well,
but
if you lick them, you can tell the difference in the taste.
Yeah, I find it to be difficult. And so, to be honest, I don't want anything growing on my cigar.
Don't lick your cigar.
I don't want anything growing on my cigar.
Yeah, it was a joke.
Yeah.
I'm thinking somebody's going to try that.
Yeah, don't lick your cigar.
Yeah, don't lick.
If there's something growing on your cigar, maybe don't lick your cigar.
Yeah, that's probably a bad thing.
The other thing is bloom is... all over the cigar.
True.
Whereas mold is in select spots
Will
on
spore
the cigar.
up, yeah.
It'll like start like on the foot or somewhere, and it'll move again along the way. So, that's one surefire way. But the whole bloom and mold thing, people get that wrong more often than they get it right. And so...
And that's not one you want to get wrong.
For the sake of safety, I would say just don't don't worry about it, but whatever. I'm sure there's some cigar purists that are going to get mad at me about saying that. Yeah. But, it's just one of those things.
I would recommend wiping down those cigars. Not taking them out of the cellophane, mind you, but
no,
wiping
because
them down.
They're in the cellophane. That's the whole point of the cellophane is some level of protection.
Yes.
So... at this
a cigar
point,
condom.
It kind of. I mean, at this point, I would say that the cellophane has done its job. It's protected the other cigars from that mold. But yeah, it probably wouldn't hurt to go ahead and wipe them down and whatnot. I mean, look, you've got a day of maintenance ahead of you here. Is what I guess we're saying. But
in the meantime, like Nick said, I would turn that thing down to 60 or 62.
That would be my first inclination right off the bat. Would be okay. 68. On the actual machine itself, produced 74 to 75. If I turn it down to 62, is it going to give me 68 to 69?
Yeah.
Kind of a thing. So,
well, and that's the other thing, too. You were talking about leaving it open. And that, I mean, I hate to say this because you've seen me.
You leave yours out on the deck.
Yes, I have done that. But,
during rainstorms.
You're inviting mold in when you're doing that. There's a reason you want to keep that sealed up.
Yeah. I don't know. And the other thing is, and I don't know, it's all personal preference. Personally, for me, I like my cigar sitting at about 65.
Yeah.
I think that 68 to 70 tends to produce slightly... I think it's it's right on the edge of humidified
but you, in winter, I'll use the 72 Boveda packs all day.
But that's because the ambient
much drier
humidity
atmosphere
in the air is so much drier that you have to use that 72 pack in order to get it up to somewhere in the 70s or 60s and whatnot. So no, I mean, I do the same. In the summertime, I drop my Boveda packs down to the 62s, and in the wintertime, I pump them up to the 72s. And it tends to work fine. So
there you go.
Anyway,
good question.
Yep, good question. Moving on to the next one here.
Hey guys, this is Glenn. Just saying hello.
What's up, Glenn?
Hey, Glenn.
Quick questions for you. What would you say the coolest packaging is that you've come across in your cigar travels? Like coolest box or something that really stood out that got your attention? And the second part of the question is, if you could design the packaging of your dreams, what would it be? Thanks. Have a great day. Stay smoky. Stay safe.
Thank you.
Thanks, Glenn. So, Jeff, I don't know about you, but for me, when he says coolest packaging, the first one that comes to mind for me is the Ultra Q by Oscar.
Yeah.
That stone pillar, that stone...
All of Oscar stuff, though.
Thing. Yeah, but that Ultra Q, man, it's designed to look like that stone pillar with the Mayan kings, on display and everything. Yep. There's a real stone pillar like that. That's, I believe, in a museum, and it details the history of the 16 Mayan kings. And Oscar designed his box to look just like it. And then within the packaging, he has 16 cigars within that box, and each cigar has a band on it that features one of the different Mayan kings.
Yeah.
So, you're kind of getting a little bit of history along with your cigar and everything. I think it's a really cool box. It stood out to me the moment I saw it when we met Oscar back, what was that?
2 years ago or more.
Oh, my God, was it? Yeah,
it was because we've been...
It was July of 19. It was July of 19. And, we met Oscar at the Hill, and he had that cigar, and so I bought that box. Not really buying it because I hadn't even smoked the Ultra Q yet. Yeah. I bought it specifically for that box.
Coolness.
It was just that cool of a box. So I'd probably go so far as to say that's the one that springs to mind immediately for me.
Yeah. Now, I, on the other hand, and I've bought a couple of these cigars, I haven't smoked them.
Okay.
And I think it's just because of the bands. they've been resting in my humidor for a good 2 years now. One of them actually came from the Kansas City Cigar Festival I bought out there.
Okay.
And it's the Macanudo Vintage Maduro.
Oh, okay.
They have the metal rings.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I just thought that was really cool. For anybody that hunts, they kind of reminded me, although they're a little more fancy than this, but they reminded me of like a goose band or something like that, where, once you take it off the cigar, it's probably something I'm going to keep. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but it's really cool.
There you go. I'll say one other one, and this is going to be an interesting one.
Okay.
You want to know another company that puts out some really good-looking packaging? Is Gurkha.
Yeah.
Gurkha cigars, for all that I shit on Gurkha.
Yeah.
And I haven't really shit on Gurkha on the show in a while.
Not in a while, but... you're doing it for good reason.
But it is what it is. But
the marketing.
Gurkha does really nice packaging and marketing.
Yeah.
Their cigars are shit.
Not all of them. That's the problem, 1 out of 4.
By and large, their cigars are shit. But, in my opinion, but their marketing and their packaging is really slick.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, back when, before, when you and I, or when I was first getting into cigars and when we were doing a lot of the online, ordering and stuff, when would that have been? That would have been
Oh, God, we gave that up quick.
Yeah,
we got into
it was a hot minute. We were into the auctions. That was like Christmas of 18, I think it was. And that's where I bought that box of the Royal Challenge.
Yeah.
And I bought it specifically because the box looked really, really cool.
Yeah.
Then we found out that the Royal Challenge of that cigar was actually
getting through one.
But anyway, no, I mean, look, with that said, it has nothing to do with if we're talking strictly the quality of the marketing, the quality of the box and packaging and everything, I got to give Gurkha credit. They put together some really nice packaging. And
I'll tell you,
I just wish they would, match that with the cigars.
For in-store marketing, you can't beat what Perdomo does.
True. With the little shelf talkers, built into the box and everything like that. You're right. Perdomo, they have made some really, really good-looking displays out of their boxes.
Yeah.
And if you are a shop that, you have a Perdomo rep, I know they basically say we really encourage you to buy at least about 3 feet worth of facing,
3 by 3 at least, yeah.
So that, you can have that one area. And, man, it really does speak to you when you go into the humidor and you see that 3 by 3, at least a 3 by 3 foot area. Because, they sing. Yeah. So.
Well, and I'll tell you, even for, one of our companies that we're kind of partnered up with, you've got Martinez out of New York that does like the Flatiron building, and they've got some real history in their bands, and I really like that.
Yeah, no, I mean it's if you put time and effort into a band and into your marketing, it goes a long way. I think.
Absolutely,
and No,
well, and we're visual creatures. There's a reason, we don't live in Canada where everything is the
white label
same.
with black font just telling you, what it is. Thanks, government. But, and thankfully we avoided that here in the States for the time being.
Yeah, so. Hopefully that stays.
Yeah,
but,
exactly.
You do look, I mean, the band does jump out and grab
People do cigar band art, they
I do that. I've done some. I need to do more.
You've done one.
Okay, but it was cool.
You did.
And I gave it to you as a present.
You did one. Yeah, and that was what? Christmas of 18.
I haven't been inspired lately.
It's been over 2 years. It's been like 3 years.
I need for that spark of creativity to hit me.
I don't
And then
know.
have a day when I'm not chasing my tail.
I don't know if you can count that you do cigar art anymore.
I did cigar art.
One time.
Yeah. But it was cool.
I have so many bands at home that I'm like saving for you. But the thing is, I know I'm saving them myself because I know if I give them to you, they're just going to end up getting lost and thrown away or something like that.
I've got so many bags of bands.
I mean, it's just ridiculous.
And I've had people send me bands from the show. I've had that. But, and I appreciate it. I just need to make another piece of art. I should do that. I should make a piece of art and then we give it away on the show.
You were going to do, I think, a piece of art based on all the cigars that we smoked in our first year of the show.
It was a good thought.
Didn't do that. There was the other one that was all the cigars that we got at the Kansas City Cigar Festival.
It's true, and Weston.
And didn't do that. And
Yeah, I was going to do a Western one, too.
Yeah.
And see, they're all intermingled now, and I don't know what's what.
Now you don't know what's what.
No.
So, okay. Well, anyway, yeah, no, good question. I mean, marketing does play a lot of big role in our cigar purchasing, and you know,
I'll give a final shout out here. I really like what the My Father, group does with their bands. I like those. I know you're not as big on them.
Yeah, they're not. They don't strike my cup of tea. It's not my design aesthetic, but it's okay.
I like them. They're very rich.
There's a lot going on.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm more of a
You're more simple.
I don't want to say minimalist, but slightly
less is more.
A little bit, yeah. You can zhuzh it up with less, and it's okay.
You've been listening to The Office Ladies.
What?
That's what they say. Zhuzh it up all the time on their show.
I haven't been.
Yeah.
I just said that.
I like their podcast.
I mean, I'm fine.
I mean, they're raging liberals. They'd never have us on.
My whole thing is that I just, I've had enough of The Office for now. So,
oh, Lordy.
Anyway, moving on to the final question for this week.
What's up, guys? This is Rob. Hoping everybody's
hey, Rob.
enjoying some of the beautiful smoking weather we've had lately. And the question this week for you guys is, what is the best cigar-related trip you've taken, destination and spot you visited, and what are some places that you would hope to get to that are on your cigar bucket list? Stay smoky, have a great week, and look forward to hearing the answers.
So for me, obviously, Tampa, takes the cake.
It does.
In terms of cigar trips that you and I have taken. That was it was incredible going down to Ybor City, hanging out with everybody down there.
The J.C.
Newman
Factory.
Newman Factory.
Ybor
touring
City.
That. It was so neat. It was so neat. And I want to get back down there again.
It was my America
Yeah.
because we're sitting on the street in Ybor City, and people are just walking up and down the street, shopping, doing their thing, smoking cigars. Yeah, it was a great time.
It really was. In terms of other trips that I'd like to go on, obviously I'd like to get up to Two Guys.
Yep.
Up in New Hampshire.
New Hampshire?
I paused because I was waiting for it. And, see the guys from the Cigar Authority and everything. I'd really like to get down to, Charlotte and Atlanta. Those are two cities that I'd really like to hit up and check out the cigar scenes in those areas. But then aside from that, if you're talking bigger trips, Miami's another city that I would like to go to. Just to see all the different cigar, people there.
I'll tell you this. Well, and we've talked about it on the show. I would love to someday, especially when it's free, go to Cuba.
Yeah, I'm not going to Cuba until it's
until it's free.
I would say I'm not.
I don't mean a free trip. That would be awesome.
No. I mean, out of communist rule.
Yes.
It's at this point, I'm kind of the mind that, they don't get any of my money until the communists are gone.
Viva Cuba.
Yep. SOS Cuba.
Now, I, on the other hand, and I know you do too, I want to get down to the JRE tobacco farm.
Yes.
In the worst way.
Yes.
And I know, we've also talked about going down to see Oscar's, operation.
Exactly.
And I would love to go down.
Both of those are in Honduras there. And then again, I know the Perdomos do the factory tour down there in Nicaragua. I mean, any one of those would be just amazing. But realistically, in terms of in the United States, I think it'd be, going up to Two Guys, Miami, Atlanta, and Charlotte. I think those would be the 4 spots that are on, kind of top of my list of places that I'd like to hit up on a cigar vacation.
Now, I'm going to be out in Colorado, actually coming up in September. I've got a family wedding to go to out there.
You're going to be too late for the Rocky Mountain Cigar Festival.
Yes, I think I am. But that being said...
And it was sold out anyway.
Yeah,
so,
I know, right?
Whatever.
Well, I mean, they'd slip us in. We're, the pulpit for God's sakes.
That, but anyway...
But I'm going to be staying out in Breckenridge, which I guess is, maybe an hour or so outside of Denver.
Okay.
So anybody has any recommendations for lounges for me there, I'm going to be there for a few days, and I would like to hit them up.
Well,
so
there you go.
Yeah.
Well, very cool. Well, guys, that's been this week's Ask the Boys. You can get your questions in by calling the hotline at area code 863-874-0000.
Well, Nick, what is mymonthlycigars.com?
This would normally be the time that I give some information about My Monthly Cigars, but I've hired that out this week, so take it away.
My Monthly Cigars is a premium cigar subscription service. It comes in a variety of different size boxes at affordable prices. Use offer code PULPIT and get free shipping on your first box and 20% off any items in the online store at mymonthlycigars.com.
That's offer code PULPIT. Thanks.
PULPIT.
See, I see what you did there. You tried to just make it a screeching
needle
halt,
off the record.
Needle off the record.
You were at the ready.
Screeching halt kind of, transition. No segue, no smooth segue whatsoever.
Nope.
You were just like, meh. And I was
chimpanzee riding.
Yeah.
Got to put that in here now.
No, I'm not
going
to do that.
Chimpanzee riding on a Segway.
Anyway, so
you're going to put it in.
No, so
guys, you know he's going to put it in.
Chimpanzee riding on a Segway. Chimpanzee riding on a Segway. Chimpanzee riding on a Segway. Bam, 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 bam.
You tried to do that, but I was at the ready, so I was prepared. I could have gone into it myself, but the button was right there.
Well,
and it's like, what?
It was so soothing to hear Pinky's voice. I miss her. We got to get her back on.
I mean, yeah, I might be hanging out with Pinky sometime soon.
Son of a bitch!
I mean,
why don't I get to go?
Because somebody wants to do only once a week.
How do I want to? Oh, you're replacing me. Well, I will tell you, of all the people that you could replace me with,
I'm not necessarily replacing.
She's got the greatest voice.
I mean, I don't know if she can fully commit, but it's like I'm working on things because again, I got to work.
See,
on
I
stuff.
fully committed to one a week.
So, I'm just saying,
and then it went to 2.
Well, forever ago.
Lordy.
But anyway,
I know it's been 2 years.
Anyway. So.
But yeah, Pinky, you know what she should do? She should get a job reading books on tape. Because no one would ever want to put it down.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. She has a wonderful voice.
She's married, Jeff.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying, hey, I want to steal away Pinky. I'm saying she has a great voice.
Anyway.
It's soothing. Prove me wrong.
I'm not going to
I don't know why you're crapping on Pinky.
I'm not crapping on Pinky.
You're trying to get her to come on and take over for me.
I'm not.
And then you're crapping on her at the same show.
Don't get butthurt. Don't get butthurt. You're the one that's bailing. I got to figure
You got to be the one
You left me high and dry once a week, so I got to figure out what's going on. So don't get all butthurt when I'm bringing somebody else on for the other show a week.
Did you, by the way, did you notice on the parishioners page people put up us fighting?
Yes. I did.
Did you watch it?
Oh, yeah. I've seen that clip.
Okay.
Yeah.
What the hell was going on in that clip?
I don't know.
Because I'm completely lost.
Sting and the other guy were having some sort of weird fight on the side of the ring. I don't know what was going on, but it was amusing.
Yeah, it was really odd.
Yeah.
So let's just put it that way. I don't know who the other guy is, but
I don't
Sting.
know. But, something tells me when it finally goes down, it's not going to go down like that. I think what's going to happen is you're not going to see it coming and you're going to catch a 2x4 across the head.
Not so much here or here.
It's
but
just
here.
right here.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I'll take his ass out first.
All right.
Oh, Lordy.
So.
You know, we've always joked about squirrel tapping each other like when we're getting a group photo, but we've never done that yet. So that'll probably be the start. One of us is going to go for the low-hanging fruit. See what I did there? And then the other one's just going to kick their ass.
Just going to go bananas.
Yeah, when they eventually get up off the ground.
It's going to be a thing.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Epic. We should sell tickets.
I don't know about that.
We could have, oh my God, we could set up the Octagon at the Riverman event this year.
Yeah, MMA is just a bunch of dudes rolling around on the ground punching each other in the dick.
That's what it's going to turn into. It'll devolve quickly.
I'm going to hear from so many MMA fans now because I said that. It's going to be one of those things.
There's a lot of truth to it, though. Let's be honest.
There kind of is a
lot of truth to it. Yeah,
anyway.
Sorry, Joe Rogan. Don't want to crap on MMA there for you, buddy, but...
Oh, whatever.
Yeah, like he's listening.
I was going to say, he's kind of sleeping, on his pile of money. He's not worried about what you and I are saying. So, anyway,
Lordy. So, Nick, how do folks reach out to us on the socials?
We're on Instagram at The Cigar Pulpit.
If Joe Rogan wants to contact us, yeah.
As well as at Naked Gator, NEKKID Gator.
That's my page.
We're also on the Cigar Pulpit Parishioners group, and we're on YouTube and Twitter, and you can reach out to us through cigarpulpit.com. You can also give us a call at the Cigar Pulpit hotline at area code 863-874-0000. Well, okay, so circling back to recap this episode, I really liked the El Principio by Geronimo. Guys, if you haven't had this, head on over to Geronimo Cigars website, find their store locator, see if there's a store near you that carries it, and if there is, go and get one, and if there's not, then maybe see if you can find one of the stores that does mail order or something like that, and you can give them a call and get yourself some, because this was a good cigar. I really did enjoy this.
Yep. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, good stick.
And again, we want to thank George for coming on and spending some time and talking to us.
Jorge was awesome.
Yes.
Yep.
You're just going to mix it up like that and get all weird, but that's all right.
His name's Jorge.
We asked him in the beginning, which
he said either way, so we went both.
We went both. Why wouldn't we? So
no, that Geronimo cigar was really, really good. I can't say enough nice things about it. It had a great flavor, very complex, had a great ash going, which I took a few pictures of, and then I party fouled all over myself. Yeah.
So,
but yeah, good cigar. I'm glad we got to try it. I'm actually glad we tried it fresh on the show, and neither one of us had ever had it before.
You know, I am too. It's like I told him, I always get nervous doing that because, boy, that could just go so badly, so many different ways.
Yes.
'Cause, you know, guys, I mean, look, I've gotten samples before from people that you haven't heard from on the show.
It's true.
And, you know, I'm not going to name anybody, but it's one of those things. I've gotten samples from people that you haven't heard on the show. And the reason for that is because... Yeah. We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's one of those things that...
And that's just it. You don't want to... Like, this cigar we love. Thank God. But you don't want to crap on somebody when they're on the phone with you.
This is not an opportunity. This show is not designed to be an opportunity for you and I to shit on somebody.
Yep.
You know, if somebody's not...
Except for Gurkha.
Well, you know, whatever. Enough people shit on Gurkha that we're nothing new.
Yeah, we're down the totem pole.
But, you know, it's one of those things that I'm not here to hurt anybody's business. I'm here to prop up people and help them out, you know, and it's one of those things that if their cigar maybe doesn't hit my palate the way that I enjoyed, I'm not going to promote it because I'm not going to lie to everybody and say that it was a good cigar when I didn't like it. But on the flip side, you know, it's one of those things that I'm also not going to have you on and shit on it either.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's wrong. So, yep. So
there you go.
Instead, silence is golden.
And duct tape is silver.
Okay, then. So, all right. Well,
just going to leave that there?
Yeah, I'm just going to leave that there. So, anyway, unless you have anything else.
No, I'm good.
Okay.
It's been a show.
Well, guys, thanks for listening. And this has been another sermon from the Cigar Pulpit.
Amen.
I'm Nick.
I'm Gator.
Everybody stay safe and stay smoky.